presentation?
No.
All right.
No.
Whenever you are ready, you may begin.
Okay. Having a cup of coffee is often the way many people start their day. It helps clear that early morning drowsiness that you get and gives you a quick jump start to your day. But very few people actually know what has to happen to the coffee before it gets poured into their cup. And it's important that, so shouldn't the farmers that actually grow the coffee be recognized? Shouldn't the risks about drinking too much of this stuff be known? It's important that people do know, otherwise the results could be fatal. Coffee, in its most basic form, is a fruit. It's a small fruit grown on the coffee tree, or a bush, and is highly valued for its pit, also known as the coffee bean. Technically, the coffee bean is a seed, but people call it a coffee bean because of its resemblance to actual beans. Coffee beans, seeds, whatever, can be roasted, then ground, and then poured hot water over to create a caffeinated, slightly bitter drink simply known as coffee. And this caffeinated feature is what makes it one of the most sought-after goods in the world. Coffee is grown on large farms all over the world, ranging from Guatemala to Papua New Guinea. And the coffee beans are grown on huge hills or flat land, depending on which harvesting method you want to use. These coffee farms grow a bunch of different types of beans, including Typica, considered the original just flat coffee bean. Bourbon, a mutation of Typica. Mundanovo, a hybrid of Typica and Bourbon, discovered in the 1940s in Brazil. There's Caturra, a mutation of Bourbon, discovered in Brazil in 1937. And Catuai, an unnatural hybrid of Mundanovo and Caturra, created by the, give me a second, Instituto Agronômico do Campinas. Coffee breeders, essentially. And then Merry-Go-Round, a highly desired mutation of Typica. All of these beans, when processed, ground, and heated, will produce slightly different coffee flavors. There are quite a few more varieties, however, knowing every single one of them is a bit unnecessary. And I'm going to be saying the word cherry a lot of the times in my next statement. Just know that cherry is referring to the coffee fruit because it has a very distinct red color and it looks like a cherry on a cherry tree. So the cherries can be harvested from the coffee trees using a couple different methods, including machine harvesting, where you drive a big machine up to the coffee tree and it shakes the tree until all the fruit drops into a giant basket. This is the cheapest method of harvesting. However, it is also the least quality because you have to, after you shake all the trees loose, you have to take big baskets back and you have to sort through them all, and you have to pick out the ripe cherries, the stuff that's actually ready to be put into coffee, and then the unripe cherries have to be thrown away essentially, and then you have to use and then you also have to sift out all the branches and leaves and stuff that also got shaken from every single tree. And then there's strip picking, slightly better, also slightly more expensive, and you strip all the cherries from one branch into a basket in just one motion. So imagine you have a cob of corn, and you take your hand and you strip all the kernels off. That's kind of what it's like. This works on multi-level farming, unlike the machine harvesting, which requires flat land. But the fruit still has to be sorted into ripe and unripe cherries. And then there's hand picking. This is by far the highest quality and most expensive type of harvesting the coffee, where someone with a very good eye has to go through to each tree and only pick the ripe cherries. And then you can just ship it off to the processing plant requiring no further sorting. And once they are sorted, or not sorted, depending on which harvesting method you use, they're sent to a processing plant where the cherries are stripped of their flesh and leaving only the beans. And then they're sorted by size and color, and the biggest ones with the best color are sent into huge vats to be rested for 30 to 60 days to help them age better. Then after that, they're shipped to roasters around the world that will then roast the coffee beans and then sell them to Starbucks or places like that where they sell coffee, where then they can grind them up and then pour hot water over them to turn them into coffee. And unfortunately, the beans that get sold to Starbucks can then be sold for around $12 per pound, and only 50 cents to $1 of that actually goes to the farm that actually grew the coffee. Some places, like Cafe Verde, it's a local company, they buy directly from Honduras, and it's around $2.50 a pound. And since they buy bags around this big, upwards of 100 pounds each, you end up with around $250 per bag, which is huge for a coffee farmer. Espresso. I'm going to go a bit more into Cafe Verde. Cafe Verde is a local company that roasts coffee beans. They roast them to the desired color, and each color has a different flavor and a different name. And they're all achieved by letting them sit in the roasting machine for a certain amount of time. Cafe Verde normally roasts to around Vienna. Oh. Vienna, right there. Give a second. Nope. Whenever you know you're going to sneeze. Anyway, somewhere between Vienna and French, right around there. Nope. And they measure how long they stay in the roasting machine by cracks. Cracks happen, you have two cracks, and cracks happen whenever the beans have been left in the roasting machine for a certain amount of time, and all of the beans start to pop, kind of like popcorn. Right here, this happens around second crack, just in case you wanted to know. And then after they're cooked, they're ground, and then they can actually be turned into coffee by using a coffee machine. Coffee machines are actually fairly simple machines. You have a water reservoir in the back. This is just for this model. There are a bunch of different varieties out there. But with this model, you have a water tank in the back that gets heated up, and then a little pump will pump them up here and then spray them down onto some coffee grounds, which are here. And then once it goes through the coffee grounds and through the filter that's underneath the coffee grounds to catch any extra bits of coffee bean, then it just goes into a water tank and keeps warm until they're finally ready, until all the water in the back has been sucked over the coffee beans. And then there's a little hole in the bottom, and then once you press this, you have some coffee. Some people actually drink this much coffee. This is actually my mother's cup. She doesn't drink this much anymore. And then as soon as you drink your coffee, something starts happening to your body. You start to get all jittery and your heart rate goes faster and you feel like you need to sneeze. No. You're like, whoa, whoa, feel like I can do anything right now. Stay up all night and write a paper. That's your body reacting to the caffeine that is naturally in the coffee. Caffeine is a chemical compound, kind of like sugar, but it is also the widest used unregulated drug in the world. In its purest form, it is a bitter white powder kind of similar to cocaine. And if you were to eat a teaspoon of the stuff, you would die not long after. But don't worry, this is just sugar. That's bloody. In fact, a young man named Logan Steiner, he actually ate the same amount of sugar that I ate, but with caffeine powder, and died like within the hour. He was found dead after consuming just 1 teaspoon of pure caffeine powder. The coroner who performed Logan's autopsy, a coroner is someone who inspects dead bodies and tries to figure out how they died. He said that Logan's blood had 70 micrograms of caffeine per milliliter of blood, which is the highest concentration of caffeine in blood he had ever seen. And just to put that into context, a normal dose of caffeine, like what you would get from an espresso, only puts around 1 to 15 milligrams of caffeine into you. So Logan would have had to drink 313 espressos just to get the same amount of caffeine that he did in that 1 little scoop. Several other deaths have been recorded by caffeine overdose. This is the chemical structure for caffeine. I don't know what any of this means. Ask my dad, he knows, I don't. One man died of drinking 8 cans of Bullet energy drink. It's not entirely clear on how much caffeine is in Bullet, but it's about the same as a Red Bull, which gives you wings. No. He drank these 8 cans to win a bet of less than $100, and it cost him his life. And some people have died of drinking more than 2 cans of Monster energy drink in a short period of time. Just 2. That's all it took, and then they died. And people have also died by taking too many weight loss pills or too many anti-sleep pills. Anti-sleep pills are basically just hardened caffeine, and you just pop them and you stay awake pretty much. And then weight loss pills have a slight amount of caffeine in them in order to help break the fat down. But caffeine isn't only in the things that I just mentioned. It also hides in almost every drink or food that you consume. For example, Coke actually has quite a lot of caffeine in it, 34 milligrams per can around, from what I remember. And there's a bunch of other caffeinated drinks that you might not think of. This one was really shocking to me. Decaffeinated coffee. Decaffeinated coffee still has 3 milligrams of caffeine in it.
What?
And I'm just like, what? Decaffeinated, as in not caffeine. Anyway. Then filtered coffee, like this. Espresso. Double instant coffee, whatever that is. Tea, iced tea, hot chocolate, caffeinated soft drinks, sugar-free caffeinated soft drinks, energy drinks, chocolate bars, milk chocolate, and dark chocolate actually has around 60 milligrams of caffeine in it.
Woohoo!
It's quite a lot. It hides in almost everything. It is like a ninja.
It's a freaking ninja.
It may be a powerful drug, but caffeine has also been proven to, deep breath now, increase the memory, detoxes your liver, cleanses your colon, keeps you alert whenever you're driving and you're tired. It'll stimulate hair growth, relieves post-workout muscle pain, reduces risk of developing Parkinson's disease, wards off Alzheimer's, it gives you a stamina boost, protects against eyelid spasms. I don't know, but it'll just help your eyelids not twitch. It'll protect against cataracts. If you don't know what cataracts are, they're little milky things that you get in your eye and makes it really hard to see. It may prevent skin cancer. I'm not sure about that one, but yeah. People who drink more caffeine have a lower risk of committing suicide. It reduces the risk of getting a kidney stone. If you don't know what a kidney stone is, it's a little hard, like rock essentially, that you get in your kidneys, and then you have to pee it out. It's really painful. It helps asthma, and it may prevent weight gain. Again, I mentioned earlier, caffeine breaks down fat. That's why. But it is still a drug. Do not do drugs, kids.
Don't do drugs.
In conclusion, coffee is a great drink, and it is a staple of almost everyone's daily routines. But it could be dangerous, even deadly, if used incorrectly. Just drink coffee responsibly, and it's just another drink that everyone can enjoy, like Sprite, which actually doesn't have caffeine in it. No. Or water, also doesn't have caffeine. No. Overall, it's a great drink, and is providing everyone who grows it a source of revenue, and providing everyone who drinks it a source of enjoyment. Now, does anyone have any questions? Eliza.
I drink Coke.
Questions, elementary.
Question? No. Nikki? Just a question?
I drink tea.
Okay. Questions? Miles?
How long does it take until caffeine will wear off? Like if you eat half
Well, depends.
half of a teaspoon and then like you need to wait this long, eat the other half and
Okay.
then you won't die.
Well, half a teaspoon is still fairly dangerous. My mom actually told me about one of her students performed an experiment, and they put like a tiny little drop of caffeine powder inside of a fish bowl with a fish in it, and the fish just swam around in circles like crazy. Yes, it wears off after, I don't know the exact measurement, but I would guess around 5 hours, 6 hours, something like that.
For how many
Teaspoons? Just half. Yeah. Okay, Anna?
Does caffeine expire?
No. As far as I know, it does not. One of the twins.
Ellie. That's Ellie. These are the twins.
I'm sorry, you three look the same. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Is caffeine higher than Rubio's?
It has tea. It's in tea. I'm not sure about root beer. Probably. Connor?
So what does it decaffeinated Diet Coke have caffeine in it?
Diet. Yes, still. Diet Coke has less sugar, I'm pretty sure, but it still has caffeine in it. Dylan, comment or question?
How much caffeine do you drink per day?
I'm not sure about that either, but it's around, I think most people drink around 3 cups a day. Around, that's probably on the borderline of safe. Ms. Reinhardt?
You were talking about the Logan gentleman who
Yep.
had a teaspoon. Did you know why he took the teaspoon? Was it an experiment or was he trying to?
No, I can only assume that he hey, I put this stuff in my energy drinks. It's gotta be safe for me. Or it was a bet. I don't know.
Okay,
Or maybe he
it
was-
wasn't part of like a science experiment or.
No, but some students, but a couple students in college, university, I don't know, they were doing an experiment on how caffeine affects physical exercise, and the administrator that they were reporting to, their science teacher, I guess, he accidentally gave them 1 digit more than they were supposed to get, so instead of 30 milligrams of caffeine each, they got 300 milligrams, so each of them took 300 milligrams, and they collapsed on the spot and vomited. Thanks to medical attention really fast, because it was a monitored experiment probably, they survived and they're fully recovered.
Okay.
Conrad?
What's weird is that you said that drinking caffeine reduces the risk of you actually like committing suicide.
Yeah.
But if you have
But
too
if
much
you
of
have
it,
too much,
you die.
yeah. Yeah.
And that's a suicide if you drink it.
Anna? Yeah, that's
I
around.
have headache problems, so
Everybody has headache problems.
Michael?
how does caffeine help stop you from doing this?
I don't know. That's just one of those weird psychological things. I don't know. Grace?
Gabrielle.
Gabrielle. Thank you.
That's great.
Suicide, kill yourself. Leo?
So you said that it reduces how much you were isolated.
Yeah.
Why in all of like those movies whenever they drink too much coffee, their eyes are twitching?
I don't know, because it's. I think that it's kind of a delicate balance because if you drink a little bit, it could help reduce eyelid spasms, but if you drink too much of it, it could increase them. Like my mom was telling me about some friends that once they actually got kidney stones, they were told to stop drinking caffeine because it would like make it worse. I don't know. Atticus.
Next time I go to Branson, I'll get root beer.
Okay. Josie.
What do they make caffeine?
That is actually a really good question. I do not know how they make caffeine powder. I can assume they like suck it out of the beans and then dry it out. That's just a guess. I'm sure there's a lot of weird chemistry
exactly
that has to go into it. Or the manufacturer. Cooper?
Is caffeine in water?
No. Unless you put caffeine in it.
Which Michael, they do have a carbonated water
Yeah.
now
That's
that
like
isn't
energy
used
water,
to
which
buy.
is dumb,
It
but
tastes just like water and it's
Wiley?
caffeine.
This would actually really help if I had a kidney stone. Is the caffeine in milk? Because I drink it a lot.
Oh,
Good question.
tiny bit. Very minuscule.
Okay.
I'll say like 1 milligram. Probably not though.
But well, should I?
Zero.
Is it still okay to drink?
Yeah,
drink
yeah.
milk with
Yes,
a
yes,
kidney
yes,
stone?
yes.
Well, it might. I don't know. That you have to ask someone who's
Not a
saying
medical.
no.
Wrap it up.
Thank goodness.
Okay.
We need this.
Real fast, I'm gonna just tell you about the first time I actually had caffeine, coffee. Here's me smelling the coffee. There's me after I drank the coffee.
Oh, I drank coffee before. I hated it.
Yeah, same.
What coffee? I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
Everybody listen.
Right now.
Let's let Michael finish his presentation and then we need to get ready because we still have 3 more presenters.
Real fast, I'm gonna tell you about Cafe Verde. There's the beans that they buy. See that giant stack of coffee beans? That's what they buy. They ship this off to Woodcrest after they buy it from the Honduran farmers.
And that's a year's supply
That's a year's supply.
for
yeah.
the entire Woodcrest Chapel.
Yeah.
So
And then here's the machine, and here's him pouring into the beans into it. So this is the machine that actually roasts the beans. There's the chaff. As soon as you heat them up a bit, there's like heat up the coffee beans a bit. There's like a gel that comes off of it, and it dries off, and it turns into chaff, and it gets sucked out, and then it can be used as compost or stuff like that. Then you've got the actual beans once they come out of the roaster. There's how they monitor the roasting, and there's the machine that he actually built that roasts the coffee. He built that.
Cool.
And that's all I've got for Cafe Verde. Now, teachers, I actually have a couple of presents for you guys relating to my presentation. You guys are all getting thank you mugs. I've got, and 3 pounds worth of coffee straight from Cafe Verde. There you go. Welcome. Feel free to drink all this. Feel free to drink all this stuff. And the bugs are in here. The bugs
The last few weeks of school.
Connor. How about new?